In an era where public consensus of a movie is formed before the theatre lights even dim, we've entered a reality where movies are declared dead on arrival by an algorithm of aggregated opinions. Let's dive deep into the murky waters of Rotten Tomatoes, from its unlikely origins with Jackie Chan to a modern landscape of shady corporate ownership and incentivized influencers. Bring protection, because we're diving into the mechanics of how public opinion is manufactured. So Rotten Tomatoes was launched in August 1998 as a spare time project by Sen Duong. His objective in creating it was to have a site where people can get access to reviews from a variety of critics in the US. He was a big fan of Jackie Chan and was inspired to create the website after collecting all the reviews of Chan's Hong Kong action movies as they were being released in the United States. The catalyst for the creation of the website was Rush Hour, Chan's first major Hollywood crossover, which was originally planned to release in August 1998. Duong coded the website in 2 weeks, the site went live, but the release of Rush Hour was delayed till September. So he began including other films on Rotten Tomatoes, extending it beyond Chan's fandom. The first non-Jackie Chan Hollywood movie which review was featured on Rotten Tomatoes was Your Friends and Neighbours. The website was an immediate success, got mentions in Netscape, Yahoo, USA Today within the first week of its launch, and it attracted 600 to 1,000 daily unique visitors as a result. Then Rotten Tomatoes' story starts to become like an episode of Succession with all these different conglomerates and brands and hedge funds and mergers, acquisitions, passing it around like a young masseuse on Epstein Island. June 2004, IGN acquired Rotten Tomatoes for an undisclosed sum. In September 2025, IGN was bought by Fox Interactive Media. In July 2010, IGN sold the website to Flixster, and in 2011, Warner Brothers acquired Rotten Tomatoes. Warner Brothers still have a 25% stake in Rotten Tomatoes. The other 75% is owned by the media powerhouse Vasanth Media Group, who owns CNBC, the Golf Channel, E, Sci-Fi and Oxygen, and Universal, now currently owned by Warner Brothers 25% and Universal 75%. Two film studios who own a movie review website.
Nothing to see here, please.
So basically the website just keeps track of all reviews counted for a film, calculates the percentage of positive reviews, and if positive reviews make up 60% or more, it's considered fresh. If they have 75% or better, and at least 80 reviews to get the certified fresh seal. But Rotten Tomatoes does it differently because it actually gives you an audience opinion, the popcorn meter. Director of Rush Hour and producer and beloved figure Brett Ratner, he's criticised the website for reducing hundreds of reviews culled from print and online sources into a popularised aggregate score. Max Landis, the writer, following his film Victor Frankenstein getting an approval rating of 24%, he argued the site's system is destructive and arbitrary because it reduces complex nuanced film reviews to a binary yes or no, fresh or rotten. So let's take a deeper look at the two biggest issues with Rotten Tomatoes. And number one is that ownership web that we spoke about. So you've suddenly got two largest shareholders of the site, the two of the world's largest movie producers. When a Warner Brothers film like Joker or a Universal film like Oppenheimer is released, the platform displaying the fresh badge is literally an extension of the company that made the movie. And in a world where everyone wants their opinion to be valued and their voices to be heard, ticketing company Fandango, whose business model relies on ticket sales, is pushing out the idea that you can be part of the narrative. Go watch the film in the opening weekend and your review will contribute to the popcorn meter, but you must make sure you buy your ticket through us and you must make sure you verify it through us. I mean, where there's smoke there's fire, right? There's some shady practice going on there. Oh, and Fandango is owned by Universal. Yeah, starting to feel a bit incestuous, like Game of Thrones or something. Getting into the really shady stuff, in 2023 an explosive investigation by Vulture titled The Decomposition of Rotten Tomatoes revealed that the system's surprisingly easy to game. There was paid reviews. The report detailed how a PR firm called Bunker 15 allegedly paid obscure, low-tier critics to write positive reviews for small films. by paying just a handful of critics $50 or more to post a fresh review, they could flip a movie from rotten to fresh, helping the studio secure better distribution deals. And there's this gatekeeper issue as well. Studios often curate their early scores by only inviting friendly critics or fan influencers to early screenings. This ensures the movie debuts with a 90% plus score, creating the opening weekend momentum before the more critical reviews are eventually added. It's painful to see how often, say on X, you see, or Reddit, really positive reviews coming out for movies months in advance. Now sometimes these hit and they absolutely feel validated when you eventually get to see it. The Bone Temple, for one, there were screenings of that back in early December. Crazy good buzz coming out of it that formed a lot of the marketing campaign, the quotes you see in the trailers. And when the movie landed, my god, it landed and it hit hard. One battle after another, Marty Supreme were both examples as well. Marty Supreme had a screening very early on, like Josh Safdie just finished the edit and took it to the New York Film Festival, October 6th, 2025.
And I'm very pleased to welcome you to our secret screening. I'm not sure if it's still a secret, but
We took part as a secret screening, a massive moment for A24 and the director, and the positive vibes from that played exactly into the Rotten Tomatoes phenomenon we're discussing. The screening was so significant because it played in New York City, giving a home court advantage for a film very much based in New York. The cast, Timothée Chalamet, Gwyneth Paltrow, Tyler the Creator, were in attendance. Chalamet told the crowd before, "I went to high school down the street, this is fucking awesome to be here." This personal connection created an electric, celebratory atmosphere that critics later noted was impossible not to get swept up in. Immediate masterpiece reactions flooded social media, which is pretty common for secret screenings. People were comparing Chalamet's performance to DiCaprio's in The Wolf of Wall Street, calling it a career best, a supernova performance. There was a big standing ovation at the end, and the earlier vibes gave it a 100% fresh start on Rotten Tomatoes. And you know what, they were right. I absolutely loved the film, and that buzz generated it and built it and built it, and when you eventually got to sit down and see it, it hit all of the marks. And it's gone on and translated to box office performance, award nominations, and it's that buzz, isn't it? It's that I'm first, but I get to experience something in a celebratory manner, in a unique manner, one battle after another. Again, absolutely loved the movie, but the early screenings which were held, Warner Brothers kind of worked to generate this certified fresh buzz, so marketing firms held exclusive VistaVision and secret screening events. And if you've seen the film or the trailers, Leonardo DiCaprio plays Bob Ferguson, a scruffy, weed-smoking revolutionary who spends most of the film in his shabby dressing gown, bathrobe. Attendees at select early screenings, most notably in London and New York, were given high-quality replicas of Bob's dressing gown, featuring embroidered one battle after another logo. And these were handed out to audience members who stayed after the film to participate in recorded interviews or provide on-the-spot reviews. So these reviews were then used to generate the marketing buzz, and that was used in trailers and what Warner Brothers put out there. It's the idea of social media dominance. You've not just seen a masterpiece film, but you've got a high-quality $100 bathrobe on your arm to take home and wear, and dress up for Halloween as Bob Ferguson. And it's that buzz, isn't it? It's that I'm first, but I get to experience something in a celebratory manner, in a unique manner. Now, while the film is generally well regarded, I love the movie, but I can appreciate the fact that it's very left-leaning in its sensibility, and there must be a lot of hardcore right-wing critics of this film that despised it, the revolutionary themes, the parallels to ICE.
Alrighty, so let's go through this movie. First of all, not good, do not like, bad.
But that doesn't matter because it goes into its opening weekend as this is the greatest film of the decade, this is the greatest film of the century, this is the greatest film of all time. I think you're getting the idea. So let's talk about 2023, a film which for months ahead of its release was getting called the best superhero movie ever. Screened early at CinemaCon for a review full of industry insiders and fan vloggers who immediately tweeted glowing reviews. 75 to 80% fresh score ahead of its opening weekend. That film was The Flash. Once wide released, critics saw it, they panned the uncanny valley CGI and messy plot, and the score dropped way into the 60s. The best ever narrative evaporated, but it had already done its job for the early marketing. This film is an absolute abomination. Take all of that aside, the multi-universe CGI scene at the end with all these different superheroes and awfully recreated Christopher Reeve Superman and a Nicolas Cage Superman that he had no idea was happening.
It was CGI, okay? So that they de-aged me and I'm fighting a spider. I didn't do any of that. So I don't know what happened there.
It was just a bad taste movie, hooked into that nostalgia of, hey, Michael Keaton's back as Batman. But yeah.
I'm Batman.
Also in 2023, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. 60 to 65% early score, fresh. This was from early social media reactions from the premiere, overwhelmingly positive, and Rotten Tomatoes counted these as early curated tastemaker reviews first. The movie looked like a safe bet, and the reality was as soon as mainstream critics published their full reviews, the score plummeted. It's eventually tied with Eternals for the worst reviewed movie in MCU history, but only after millions had already bought opening night tickets. Smashing Machine last year, 2025, 100% fresh after Venice Film Festival. This has got the festival fog strategy, debuting to a massive standing ovation at the Venice Film Festival, and critics of festivals are often caught up in the glare of the moment, and this led to early 100% scores. Well, it's still a well-reviewed movie. 100% Masterpiece label was a marketing mirage. As regular critics saw it away from the Italian coast and the free champagne, the score corrected itself to good, but not perfect, which I'd agree with. How about Star Wars The Last Jedi?
No! Yes! No! Si! No!
Disney and Lucasfilm held a massive premiere with high-profile critics who praised the film's bold new direction, leading to a 96% fresh. This is the ultimate example of critics versus audience, the gap. While critics loved the technical craft, the general audience and longtime fans felt it betrayed the franchise, being able to vote. So, for opening night, there's this thing called the verified hot badge for audiences, but this is inflated early on. People who buy the tickets through Fandango, like we spoke about, the owner of the site, can vote. And these are hardcore fans. They're more likely to give a 5 out of 5 regardless of quality. The result means every major studio blockbuster starts with a 90% verified audience score, which is then used in TV commercials to trick casual viewers into thinking that the movie is a must-see. And it's all these little tactics that come together to create the illusion of selling the product. And then if we take a look at the actual scoring, like the maths behind Rotten Tomatoes, it's not like a grade, it's a consensus metric. If a movie came out that was an absolute plain Jane of a film, something bland, something uninspired, but with a few moments here or there, I'm thinking kind of middle of the road Marvel movie. If every critic out there gave it 3 out of 5, which is like a C in maths, that's a meh, it's fine. But because of the binary nature of Rotten Tomatoes, fresh, 6 out of 10 or higher, rotten, 5 out of 10 or lower, means that this gets 100% fresh rating. So this absolute middle of the road movie would have 100% fresh, hypothetically. So a bland, safe blockbuster that everyone thinks is okay can have a higher score than a daring masterpiece film that splits critics, where half maybe give it 10 out of 10 and the other half give it a 4 out of 10. On the tomato meter, Wonder Woman holds a 93%. 93%, that's like an all-time masterpiece that it sounds like. I think the big thing is to stay away from Rotten Tomatoes, the binary problem, the yes or no. I think the thing is to find a trusted critic, someone that you find has a balanced or similar opinion to yours, or on the flip side, find someone you completely disagree with so that you know that you'll actually probably enjoy something that they dislike. Ultimately, movies are an emotional experience, not a statistical one. Use your own instincts. You can discover cult classics and personal favourites that maths would have told you to skip.
Land on your own moon.
Would you like to know more?